The Michelin Guide has existed in Europe for over 80 years, but it only landed in America 9 years ago. Its impact in America grows with every passing year as more diners become aware of the guide and its ratings. The Michelin Guide has existed in Europe for over 80 years, but it only landed in America 9 years ago. Its impact in America grows with every passing year as more diners become aware of the guide and its ratings.
The Michelin Guide has existed in Europe for over 80 years, but it only landed in America 9 years ago. Its impact in America grows with every passing year as more diners become aware of the guide and its ratings. The Michelin Guide. Now, it is definitely a big M. Gotta have a big M. And the Michelin Guide, it's a big G. If you look at the title of the book, this is capital, and actually all of this is capital. Okay, so for our purposes, we can just capitalize T, M, and G, specifically talking about the actual title of the book. Okay, now elsewhere we mentioned guide. Where is it? I don't see it. Here we go. Guide. And in this case, guide, we use a small g because although we are talking about a specific guide, we're not considering the title, we're considering the function. Okay, it's a little bit complicated. A couple people wrote a big G. Actually, one person wrote a big G for this and this. And that's not wrong. However, if we consider it as the function, we can keep it a small g. But that's okay, whatever. What you did is absolutely fine. The Michelin Guide has existed. The Michelin Guide has existed in Europe for 80 years. Now, the word exist and for collocation. Exist for time, okay? And here's the time. Over 80 years. Now, 80 years is a long period of time. Exist, we're going to have this has been in existence, has existed in Europe, okay? So that's a little bit fast, but it's proper grammar, and I think you understand. The Michelin Guide has existed in Europe. The Michelin Guide has existed in Europe. Say it with me. The Michelin Guide has existed in Europe. The Michelin Guide has existed in Europe for over 80 years. The Michelin Guide has existed in Europe for over 80 years. For over 80 years. Now, 80 we can write as numbers. But it only landed in America 9 years ago. Past tense. Landed in America, but it only landed in America, 9 years ago. But it only landed in America 9 years ago. Now many of you wrote 9 as the number 9, which is not wrong, but this is a controversy. Basically, 1, we should start with 1. 1 through 9, keep as, spell it out. Beyond 9, 10 maybe you can spell, it's a controversial, but after 10 you can just write as numbers. Write them out, okay? Confusing. So 1 through 9 for sure I recommend writing in letters, and beyond 10 it's much more common to write them as numerical numbers, Arabic numbers, okay? Yeah, remember that. Not necessary, but this is the general style. So that's the first sentence. Not too bad. Has existed, landed. Those are the tough ones. But vocabulary is pretty simple. Let's say it together smooth. 1, 2, 3. The Michelin Guide has existed in Europe for over 80 years. But it only landed in America 9 years ago. Its impact. Good job. Lots of people did miss the word. That's a tough word. Its impact in America grows with every passing year. I am sure you have not heard of this expression, or I am sure you understand it, but you probably never heard it or never used it. So, great job with the dictation, and now you're learning a new expression. Its impact in America grows every year. Its impact in America grows with every passing year. Same thing, it's just poetic. It sounds nice and dramatic. Its impact in America grows every year. Its impact in America grows with every passing year. Your English improves every year in DDM. Your English improves every year, your English improves with every passing year of DDM. I can't speak today. Just use the same thing. With each is fine, with every passing year, okay? As more diners, not dinners, diners, one N, people who eat, as more diners become aware of the guide and its ratings. What does the guide do? It teaches you about restaurants and it rates restaurants. It gives you a map, a guide, a map, and a rating. 1 star, 2 stars, or 3 stars. That's what the Michelin Guide is. That's it. Okay? It's a map. Traditionally, it's a map and a rating. So as more diners become aware, knowledgeable of the guide and its, remember there's no apostrophe, it's not it is, it's possessive ratings.